Hey everybody, NW Order for Life here with another video game review. This time I'm going to be talking about Bravely Default for the Nintendo 3DS. Real quick, the Nintendo 3DS has tons of amazing content on there. Video games that I highly recommend. If you don't own a Nintendo 3DS, you should really get a Nintendo 3DS because it's probably the best gaming machine that's out there right now in terms of all the different types of genres in video games, whether it's strategy and action or whatnot. The 3DS has everything, so definitely recommend that. But yeah, so Bravely Default is this revolutionary RPG. I wouldn't call it revolutionary, but it's kind of like this, like, the battle system is really new, and that's like the real hype of the game is the battle system. But um, it goes back to like the old school formula of the classic Final Fantasy games, and that's because Bravely Default is actually developed by many former Final Fantasy, staff, people that worked on Final Fantasy games in the early Super Nintendo years, some even in the early PlayStation ones. I believe that they're all a part of this team that's working on Bravely Default. So the game feels like an unofficial sequel to the old school Final Fantasy games, and you can really see the influence in the Final Fantasy. For number one, the story is four heroes trying to go reach the crystals of the world, to try to to activate the crystals or seal the crystals. I'm trying to no, I think it's activate. They're trying to activate the crystals so they could fix the Earth because the or whatever it is the Earth of their planet is dying, and the crystals will infuse life into the planet and save it. That's Final Fantasy IV's storyline right there. Um, so the characters are the monk. Well, I'm sorry, not a monk. I made my guy a monk for a long time, but they're all just regular characters. Tur, Agnes, um, Ringo, and what was her name? And the princess of oh man, I can't think of her name. Gotta check it. While I check it, I'll keep talking. So, Bravely Default's battle system is where the game is supposedly like revolutionary because in battle you have the option of saying brave or default. If you choose to press default, your characters won't do anything and they'll take a defensive stance and they'll build up BP or brave points. And when that happens, you'll you'll be able to not unleash. You'll be able to like take turns. Essentially, the system is that if you have turns, a certain amount of turns that you can use. For instance, let's say you start the random battle or whatever, and you have zero brave points. So that means you'll be able to attack once, and then after you attack once, you'll be able to attack again. But if you choose to brave, the option to brave, it lets you attack more than once. However, it costs brave points. So for example, if I have 2 brave points and I want to attack 4 times, then I have to brave, uh, you know, the most amount of times that I can brave, and it will put my brave points the next time your turn comes up. You won't be able to act. Instead, your points will be at -2, and you'll have to wait, until the enemy has 2 or 3 turns before your points reset back to 0, where you can then choose to either, go all out with the brave again or default. So essentially, you can either play it very safe with defaulting for 3 or 4 turns and then unleashing everything in one shot, like 4 attacks each with characters. When I say attacks each, I mean magic, items, whatever. You get 4, it's like 4 actions for one character, and you don't have to default to do that. You can do that on 0 brave points or on negative, well, you wouldn't be on negative, so on 0 brave points. But, if you do, then you have to pay the price of waiting like 3 turns, 4 turns to make a move again. But if you default all that time, then you can do all that, and you'll have your turn the next time, after the enemy is done with their turn, you'll have your turn. They'll be back at 0 instead of being in the negative. So if you do it that way, you could get like, 8 attacks in succession. You could do 4, 4, 4, 4 attacks, and then you could do, 4, 4, 4, 4 again, and that could be a way for you to take out your enemy. Although if that fails, then that second time, when you did 4, 4, 4, 4 with 0 points, now you'll be in the negative, and you'll have to wait 3 or 4 turns until you can act again. So there's the risk of, if you really want to go all out, if you think you can do it, there's that risk that you'll be vulnerable for a couple turns, but, there's also lots of strategy involved. And Bravely Default also has the ability to be any job you want, and there's like, I'm going to say like, 16 job classes. I'm not 100% sure on that, but, the job classes range from like Arcanist and, White Mage, Black Mage, Knights, Alchemist, and all things of that nature, Thieves. You have all these different job classes, and as you level them up and you master abilities, you can take any ability that you've done and you can set it as your secondary job, so that whatever you learned with your thief skills can now be, now you can have a knight with thief skills, but you won't be able to further level up your thief. So you'll take your level 7 thief and you'll put your level 7 thief in the secondary, your thief skill in the secondary, so you'll only be able to use techniques and skills based on what you learned with your level 7 thief. And your knight would be the one that would be getting upgraded every time you level up, with new abilities being learned and whatnot. Also, there are skills. Right now in my game, I'm on like 4 skills, I think, but I think you probably can get maybe 5 or 6 up, like point-wise in skills. And basically what you do is, like, let's say you have the thief skill raid, which, or if it's pillage or whatever it's called. Basically, like, after you attack, you can every attack or something. I think the skill is like that you can steal an item, like you have the potential. It's something like that. Well, let's just say, whatever the skill is, it costs 2 points. So now, if for me, who has not points, it's slots. It's slots. So like if you're like me in my game and I have like 4 slots, you'll see like like there's like a number 2 next to the skill or whatever, right? All right, 4 slots is 6. But there's like a 2 like next to the skill, and that you set that takes up the 2 slots. So therefore, now you can only equip another technique that is equal to 2 slots if you had 4, or 3 slots if you had 5, etc. And what you can do is you can put all kinds of skills that you learn from different jobs into your skill slot. So I could have like a White Mage support ability, on my knight because I mastered the White Mage, or I got up to a certain level with the White Mage, so I learned this skill that can be used as a skill slot. And so it doesn't matter what job I'm currently using, I can just put that skill. So the job system, the skill system, they're all very creative. You can mix and match with everything, and it's really inventive. So anyway, so the character I was talking about, is Adia. She was the princess, and like not, she's kind of like a princess. She's the daughter of like the enemy main general or whatever. I totally just totally blanked out on her name before, and I don't think the guy's name was Ringo either. Oh man, I kind of feel embarrassed for not knowing this, but I haven't played the game in such a long time, so it's just like, huh, should have maybe done a little bit of research before making the video, huh guys? But yeah, so his name is Ring a Bell. That's his name. So Tiz, Agnes, Adia, and Ring a Bell. So there you go. So yeah, so I've just been talking this whole time, and I haven't, really been thinking about the name or whatever. This video has gone long enough. I'm sorry if I felt like I stalled there, or whatever. So Bravely Default is a good game. Like I said, the battle system and the item, the jobs and skills, they're all fairly complex. Pretty easy to get the hang of when you figure it out, and a lot of great strategy. There's also a way for you to stop time and get more attacks, but actually I haven't used that myself. But you can buy sleep. You can buy sleep potion points, SP, with real money in the game to have that ability to use the time stop much more. Otherwise, it refills on its own. I think very slowly just by leaving the game on. I think it takes a couple days to like fill up or something. So yeah, and the story is just like it's really good. You go around the Earth or the planet, and you're like classic JRPGs. You get attacked randomly. Oh, but with Bravely Default, you can set your rate of meeting enemies. So if you want, you can make it so that you can walk on the map and never get attacked, or you can make it that you'll get attacked constantly. So you can level up and find items and whatnot. So there's a lot of freedom with Bravely Default, a lot of customization, and the story is just really good. Four people meeting and deciding to save the world together to help Agnes in her journey to activate the crystals and fix everything, and fighting off the evil army that gets in your way, and seeing the revelation at the end of the game, which I haven't gotten to yet because I've only gotten up to the part where I beat Adia's father. So I got to get back into that game at some point. But I wanted to make this video just to share my thoughts on Bravely Default. Great game. Awesome gameplay, and highly recommended for the Nintendo 3DS. I'm going to give Bravely Default a 9 out of 10. So thanks for watching my review, guys. Apologies if it went a little long. Please rate and comment below what you think of Bravely Default, or any other games in its genre that you might want me to check out, or just things you want to point out down below. And also, if you like my videos, I'd appreciate you subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. So, thanks guys. Have a great night.